Mr. Ritter, are knives included in the definition of arms under the Second Amendment?
Certainly, they have been considered arms for millennia, perhaps man's oldest.
Is there any cases, Supreme Court or other federal cases that shed light on how knives are protected under the Second Amendment?
Certainly, both Heller and Brune bring up the subject of knives as arms, and they are certainly protected by the Second Amendment.
Under the COPA, Knife Owners Protection Act, the purpose of that is allow someone to move from state to state, and while they're actually in transit, they don't have access to their knives. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so that's why there's been bipartisan support. Generally, they don't have access to those knives, but they also shouldn't be prosecuted for transporting their knives across state lines.
That is correct. I mean, the reason we get bipartisan support is because the bills that we propose are all about criminal justice reform and people not being stopped simply because they're carrying a knife with no criminal intent whatsoever.
And in COPA, there's a provision dealing with private right of action. Why is that so important to the bill?
Private right of action is very important to COPA because COPA is closely related to the Firearms Owners Protection Act. In fact, it was originally based on that. And unfortunately, the Second Circuit in Taraco versus Port Authority determined that those sorts of claims do not give rise to a private right of action. So in some of the states where folks are most in danger of being prosecuted for having an illegal knife, even if they were to follow the lock them up according to COPA, there's a precedent that they have no right of action, and without a right of action, there's very little deterrence for rogue law enforcement or prosecutors to go after them, despite what Congress's intent may be.